She always believed she had the perfect marriage with David, the perfect husband, handsome, kind, successful, and loving. Everyone around them saw it. Her sister, Chloe, admired their relationship and thought David was the ideal husband. But what she didn't know was that behind the good guy facade, David had a dark secret. Something that would change everyone's lives forever. And that secret had to do with Chloe. Olivia's sister found herself in an entirely unexpected situation when David started flirting with her more and more aggressively. She was in shock, but what surprised her the most was discovering that David wasn't just interested in friendship. He was hiding a secret relationship, and worse, he was cheating on Olivia with other women, while everyone thought he was the perfect husband. What should she do? Tell her sister and risk destroying their marriage? Or stay silent and protect the family, while knowing that David was living a lie? There was no turning back. Chloe knew the truth would come to light, and the impact of it would be devastating. Chloe couldn't deny what was happening anymore. She felt uncomfortable, and every time David came near her, something inside her stomach turned. He was no longer just being kind or attentive, he was openly flirting with her, completely ignoring boundaries. That day, at a family event, David sought her out alone in the garden, as if it were the most natural thing in the world. He looked deeply into her eyes and, in a low tone, almost whispering, said, "I don't know what to do, Chloe. I feel like I can't live this lie anymore. You're the only person who understands me." What happened next made her freeze. Without another word, David kissed her. A hot kiss, full of desire, and it made Chloe's heart race. She didn't know what to feel. The urge to push him away, to scream, or the confused sensation that, in some way, he was speaking the truth, that she never knew he was going through such a deep crisis. She pulled away quickly, but David's words echoed in her mind. "You're the only person who understands me." Chloe tried to rationalize the situation, telling herself she was overreacting, that this was just David trying to unload emotionally, but something inside her couldn't ignore it anymore. The fact that he kissed her, without any respect for her relationship with Olivia, made Chloe realize how out of control things had gotten. She had to do something, but the fear of destroying her sister consumed her. Should she tell Olivia and risk breaking the trust between them? Or should she stay silent and keep the secret, knowing that this could ruin her sister's marriage and her relationship with her? Chloe was at a breaking point. She knew the truth had to come out, but doubt was clouding her judgment. Would Olivia believe her? Or had David manipulated her so much that any attempt to expose the truth would be pointless? Chloe stayed up all night. David's words were still reverberating in her mind, like an unsettling melody. "You're the only person who understands me." The kiss he gave her made her feel something she never imagined feeling. On one side was the guilt for giving in to his desire, for not pulling away faster, and on the other, the fear of destroying her sister's life. She tried to rationalize her emotions, but everything was so confusing. She knew that in her position, she couldn't stay silent, but the fear of losing her sister forever consumed her. What should she do? How could she tell Olivia the truth without destroying her marriage? How could she explain that David, the man she believed to be perfect, was being a liar? Chloe was at the limit. She knew the situation required quick action, but doubt paralyzed her. What was going on in David's mind? He kissed her, said things Olivia would never hear from him, but at the same time, David was still her sister's loving husband, the man everyone admired and respected. Chloe felt like an intruder, unable to understand what she truly wanted. She knew Olivia trusted her, but would Olivia believe her? Or would her sister, in the name of love and loyalty to her husband, deny her? She also wondered if she should just stay silent. What would it be like to live with the weight of knowing that her sister's husband was cheating on her, without doing anything? Chloe knew she might never be the same, but she also knew that if she didn't speak, Olivia's marriage would be doomed, and she would be the only one to blame for letting this happen. While everyone in her life was being pulled into David's lies, she wondered, if I don't tell the truth now, will I ever be able to live with myself? And if I do, will I be destroying the last bond of trust with my sister? Chloe knew she could no longer delay the decision. She was about to reveal the truth to Olivia, even though she knew how destructive it would be. With a heavy heart, she called her sister to talk. Olivia looked at her with a relaxed smile, unaware of what was coming. Olivia, I need to tell you something about David, Chloe began, her voice trembling. The tension in the air was palpable, but Olivia seemed unaware of the gravity of the situation. What's going on, Chloe? Olivia asked, concerned about the tone of her sister's voice. Chloe took a deep breath and decided it was time to be honest, no matter the cost. David has been cheating on you. The words came out with force, but not as she expected. Olivia's reaction was immediate, a nervous laugh, as if she thought Chloe was joking. That's not true, Chloe. I know you. You must be exaggerating. Olivia laughed, but there was something in her eyes that showed insecurity. Chloe insisted, explaining the details she had discovered. She found messages on David's phone, saw compromising messages with other women, and even found a photo he sent to one of them. She talked about the secret meetings he had, sometimes in isolated places and other times in hotels, far from everyone's view. She couldn't hold back the pain, and the words came out of her mouth like the weight of the world had fallen on her. But to her astonishment, Olivia started denying every word, as if she couldn't believe what she was hearing. David is not that kind of man, Chloe. He loves me. He's always been good to me. David, who had been listening from a distance, entered the conversation. He approached Olivia and hugged her, trying to calm her down. But David knew the lie was about to crumble, so he decided to act fast. With a smile on his face, he manipulated the situation. I know what you're thinking, Olivia. Chloe is just trying to cause trouble, trying to drive a wedge between us. I love you, you know that. He looked at Chloe with a defiant stare. She's just trying to create confusion between us. You know how she is, always exaggerating, always trying to get attention. Don't believe her, please. Olivia looked at David, clearly confused, and then at Chloe. Olivia's look of distrust made Chloe feel helpless, as if she were trying to break an impossible bond. But Chloe couldn't keep the truth hidden anymore. She knew that if she didn't speak up, everything would be lost. I'm not making this up, Olivia. I found everything. He's been lying to you all along. I can't stay silent anymore. Chloe shouted, her voice filled with pain and frustration. Olivia, still in shock, began questioning her own perception of David. But deep down, she didn't want to believe what she was hearing. She didn't want to see the man she married in such a dark light. David was once again manipulating the situation, making Olivia doubt even her own sister. Olivia couldn't sleep anymore. Chloe's words echoed in her mind, and every time she looked at David, an uncomfortable feeling overcame her. She tried to ignore it, trying to believe that Chloe was exaggerating, but something inside her told her it wasn't so simple. She knew that David had never been perfect, but she always wanted to believe that he loved her for real. The next morning, Olivia tried to pretend everything was fine. But when she looked at David, she couldn't see the man she once thought was the love of her life. He noticed her distant attitude and, with a cynical smile, tried to make amends, but his manipulation was obvious. Olivia, you have to understand that Chloe is trying to create problems between us, he said, trying to soften the situation. She's always been the exaggerator, always wanting to get attention. I love you, you know that. But Olivia didn't know who to trust anymore. She looked at David, and what once seemed like a man she admired and loved, now seemed like a mask full of flaws she had never seen before. She then made a decision. David was manipulating her, and she knew it. But what to do with this revelation? Chloe was right. Olivia decided to confront David one last time. She needed answers, concrete proof. David, I want you to be honest with me. Tell me the truth now. I can't live this lie anymore. He tried again to manipulate her, but she was no longer the blind woman who trusted him completely. Olivia asked him to hand over his phone, and, upon seeing the messages, photos, and records of secret meetings, Olivia's world came crashing down. The messages from David to other women were clear, and the photos of their meetings were even more evident. What Olivia feared most had come true. The truth was right there in front of her, and now she found herself in an impossible situation. David had betrayed her trust, but there was still a voice inside trying to convince her that he could change, that he could be the man she always imagined. She looked at him, and for the first time, the love she felt for him disappeared. "I don't know who you are anymore, David," she whispered. "And this is the end." After seeing the proof and hearing David's words, Olivia's world was turned upside down. The man she had shared so many years of her life with now seemed like a stranger, someone who didn't deserve her trust. The pain of the betrayal was unbearable, and David's words felt like an echo, distant, and without any trace of remorse or guilt. He was once again trying to manipulate the situation, convincing Olivia that he still loved her, that she should give him another chance. "I know I made mistakes, Olivia, but I can change. Please don't do this. We have something real." But Olivia no longer listened. She looked at David one last time and felt the weight of the decision in her chest. She couldn't go on with him anymore. The truth was clear, and she knew she couldn't live a lie any longer. "You cheated on me, David. And worst of all, you lied to me all along. I've lived a lie. I can't believe you anymore." She didn't want to yell, didn't want to explode. She wanted him to know that the pain she felt was deep, but that she no longer had space for him in her life. She knew the end was inevitable, but she didn't want to stay in the dark anymore, deceived, afraid to confront the truth. David seemed stunned, trying once again to approach her, but Olivia, with a firm look, pushed him away. She no longer felt like a victim of his lies. She decided to be strong, and this was her moment to rebuild. "I don't want to be with you anymore, David. What we had was important, but it's no longer enough. What you did to our trust has no excuse." With a sad smile, Olivia turned to the door, and as she left the house, she finally realized what she really needed: emotional freedom, independence, and the recognition of her own worth. She was no longer that naive woman who thought David's love would define her. She was strong on her own. As she closed the door behind her, Olivia felt an unexpected relief, as if she had finally regained her power. She knew the road ahead would be difficult, but now she was in control. David could no longer control her. And with that, her journey of reclaiming not just her life, but herself began. Olivia walked away from David, but the pain of betrayal still consumed her. She felt heavy and disgusted, as though she were carrying an impossible burden. The relief of breaking free from David was immediate, but as the days went by, she found herself immersed in a mountain of conflicting emotions. On one hand, she felt she had made the right decision, but on the other, there was something she couldn't overcome: the destruction of her family. Chloe, her sister, was just as devastated as she was. Although she had helped Olivia see the truth about David, Chloe also knew that by revealing the secrets, she had caused a rift that could never be repaired. She loved her sister, but she couldn't deny the feeling that now, after everything, something irrecoverable had been lost. Olivia, now more distant and emotionally closed off, seemed to have a wall around her, and that made Chloe feel like their relationship was compromised. Chloe didn't know if she had done the right thing or if, by telling the truth, her sister would never forgive her. The weight of guilt was still in her heart, but she also knew she couldn't stay silent, because Olivia had the right to know the truth. One night, Olivia finally decided to seek out Chloe. They met at Olivia's house, and for the first time, the older sister looked into Chloe's eyes with loneliness and sadness. "I don't know what to do, Chloe," Olivia said, her voice trembling. "I did the right thing by walking away from David, but now I'm completely lost. I lost my trust in him, but at the same time, I feel like I've lost myself. I don't know who I am anymore. I feel like our relationship will never be the same." Chloe, with a heavy heart, stepped closer to her sister and embraced her. "Olivia, I know this has been hard for you, but you're not alone. I'm here, and I always will be. We, as sisters, have been through so much together. This isn't the first battle we've faced, and I know we'll get through this one too. What happened with David doesn't define who you are, and your journey is about finding yourself again. Don't be afraid to be who you need to be, even if that means being alone for a while." Olivia looked at Chloe with tears in her eyes. "I don't know what to do with this pain, Chloe. How can I move on knowing I was so deceived? I trusted him so much, and now all I see is a lie. The pain will pass, Olivia. I promise. Believe me, the freedom you're starting to experience will help you rise again. Don't rush the healing. Take care of yourself first, and everything else will come. The two sisters stayed silent for a while, embracing each other, each with their own. Meanwhile, the relationship with Chloe grew stronger. Chloe was a true rock for Olivia, always by her side, supporting her in every small step she took to regain her self-esteem and confidence. The two sisters began spending more time together, sharing dreams, stories, and finally rebuilding the bonds that seemed lost. David, on the other hand, tried to get close to Olivia several times, begging for forgiveness and pleading for a second chance, but Olivia, now stronger, refused. She knew that, although love still existed somewhere inside her, it wasn't worth fighting for something that had died the moment he betrayed her. Olivia finally decided what truly mattered, to love herself and rebuild her life without depending on anyone to feel complete. She was learning to be happy again, without looking to the past, without searching for blame, and without waiting for forgiveness. She knew that the strength of her recovery came from accepting what had happened and the decision to move forward. David continued with his life, trying to keep up appearances, but Olivia didn't care anymore. She had a new goal, to live for herself, without the shadows of her old marriage haunting her. And now, with Chloe's help, she was more than ready to write a new chapter in her story, one where she would finally be free, strong, and independent. Olivia turned to Chloe, smiling for the first time in a truly genuine way after everything that had happened. Thank you, Chloe. I don't know what I would do without you. Now I know that we're stronger together. No matter what comes next, I know I'll make it. And so, Olivia finally found true freedom, not in a new relationship, but in her emotional self-sufficiency, her empowerment, and the healing of what had been broken. She was no longer the victim of betrayal, but a woman who took control of her life, ready to conquer everything she deserved on her own. And you, what would you do in Olivia's shoes? Would you believe in change or move on? Leave your opinion in the comments below. Like the video if this story moved you, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more stories like this. See you in the next video.